Good afternoon. Hope everyone's really well. So, does this look a little bit more familiar? I'm back home. So, I've got my son coming over for dinner tonight. So, I'm going to do something that's really quite warming. It's still quite cool here in Brisbane. Apparently, it's going to be 31 on Monday, but at the moment it's 21. So for us, that's really cold. So I'm going to do a laksa. Now, if I come into Cookie Doo and I search for the word laksa, and I know you can't see the screen so well because of the glare. So, and you know that I always like to choose a broader search because I thought I'd show you on my iPad. So if I put the word laksa in and go search, it will bring me up. It'll bring me up quite a few more options. Where are we? Help if I spelt it, wouldn't it? Laksa search. Okay, it doesn't want to search for. Oh, there they are. So there are 3 popular ones across here. Oops, that's the one I'm going to make, but I've done this a long time ago, this recipe, and what I say is I think prawn and chicken's a really unusual combination. I know lots of people really like it, but I do either all seafood or all chicken, and today I'm doing seafood. I'm not doing actually just prawns. I'm doing a seafood medley. So just because when I went to the supermarket, they actually had it on special, and it has some salmon in there, it has some whitefish, it has some raw prawns, it has some calamari, and it did have some mussels, but I took the mussels out because I just like them by themselves. So, and I just threw in a couple of extra prawns just for good measure. So you can basically use whatever, because this is really quick and easy. It doesn't take a lot of cooking. But let's get going. What I was going to say, on your Thermomix, there's 3 options along here. The one we're going to make is the prawn and chicken laksa. But just remember, you can do the combination, or you can do all prawn or all chicken. Totally up to you. There's a curry laksa, and there's a seafood laksa. The seafood laksa is a UK recipe. Your Thermomix will not tell you what country the recipe's from if you've got your filters on, but when you go into the recipe on Cookie Doo, it'll tell you down the bottom where the recipe comes from. And this one is soups for all seasons. So laksa is actually a soup, but we have it as a meal. Okay, so I'm going to do this version and I'm going to start cooking. Now, it wants a stalk of lemongrass. It wants some brown onion. So I'm not doing the lemongrass, and I'll tell you why in a moment. And I've only got 2 little shallots, so I'm going to pop those in. It says 4 cloves of garlic. I'm not doing that either. It says macadamia nuts. I'm not doing that either. Mine's a nut-free version. So on the metabolic program, you can't actually do mixed protein. So nuts are a protein, and so is seafood. So I'm just doing the one protein. So I'm just doing mine nut-free. I am actually going to pop the chili in to zhuzh it up a little bit. But what I am going to do is use my Asian paste. Okay. Now this recipe has a kaffir lime leaf in it, which is over here. So it has kaffir lime leaves. These are beautiful. And I think next time I make my paste, I'll actually add these at that point. So it just saves, it's just a one-stop shop. So instead of putting ginger, garlic, chili, you can just put a good spoonful of your paste. Now, I did make this the other day, okay? So, and I did it without any salt, so I'm going through it quite quickly. If I wasn't, I'd put salt in it or I'd freeze it. So I'm going to put a good, because I've got to make up, I've actually put ginger in this as well. Ginger wasn't in the recipe, but that doesn't matter. Or was there ginger in there? I'm not sure. Oh, there's the ginger now. Ah, I thought there was ginger in there. I need some turmeric. Now, a few weeks ago, I made and dehydrated my own turmeric, and so I'm going to use that because it is super fresh, and I made it myself. I wish you could smell that. Can you smell that? I'm just going to use half the amount because it is quite strong. So I'm just going to put a half a teaspoon of turmeric and a little bit of curry powder and some cumin, I think was in there. Yep, a teaspoon of cumin. Oh, I might as well put the rest of that in. You know me, chuck it in. And some fresh coriander leaves. So, yes, if you don't like coriander, don't put it in. It's not that hard. So, some coriander leaves, some shrimp paste. Now, I never used to buy shrimp paste, but I was doing quite a bit of cooking and it kept asking for it. So I actually went and bought some, and this is very smelly. If you do not have it, if you cannot get hold of it, just use fish sauce. This is shrimp and that is anchovies. They're both they're both quite salty, and they both have a really pungent smell. So, as I said, if you can't get hold of, and it comes in these little blocks, in these little packets, so it does last quite a long time, but it is, yeah, if you don't use a lot of it, it's not worth having all these different packets. Okay, so what else do I need? The shrimp paste, coconut milk. So I always choose the AM brand. I like it because it's 100% coconut. There's no water. So you might buy a cheaper version, but the cheaper version you're paying for water. And sometimes it can be 60% water. So why pay for their water? This is a wee bit more expensive normally, but try and get it when it's on special. It's worth it anyway. So 50 grams of that. The rest of that is going to go into the soup a little bit later. And we're going to insert the measuring cup, and the next thing will be blended all down. You can hear that was only 5 seconds. It's only half the time, but that is scrape down. Ooh, yum. Scrape down and insert the measuring cup, and oh, it wants me to chop it down again. I'm not going to worry about that. And then it wants 20 grams of butter. So guess what I've got? Not butter. Ghee. So I should have taken this out the fridge a bit earlier because it's going to be rock hard. So okay, perfect. And insert the measuring cup. Now it wants to cook this for 8 minutes, but obviously on a live, I'm not going to cook it for 8 minutes. I'm going to cook it for a few minutes and chat to you about what to do next. Because if you're doing the chicken and the prawn together, you need to put your chicken in to cook for a certain amount of time, and then you put the prawns in at the end. Because we're going to do just the seafood or just the prawns, I'm actually going to skip the chicken part and go on through. The other thing I'm swapping is I didn't have any bean sprouts, so I'm just going to use some green beans, and I didn't have bok choy, so I'm just going to use a bit of cabbage. You just think, you know, if some of you don't like something, don't put it in, or if there's an alternative, then you can do that. I will pop the recipe in the comments, okay? Because there's 3 different laksas, and it's actually the chicken and prawn laksa in the Australian cookie dough. The other thing, it wants me to do rice noodles. So I'm going to do the rice noodles for the boys. So all you need is hot water. I just boiled the kettle before, and I'll leave those to soak for 10 minutes or so. For me, I like these. Now, this is the Chang's brand, and the other brand is called Calorie Clever Slimmery. These ones you can only get like a spaghetti look. I'm not as keen on these as much as I like these ones. These ones look more like a fettuccine. There's virtually, well, you can see 10 calories. That is 2 serves for me. So all you need to do with these, have a look out for them. This is an older packet. I believe they've changed the packaging, so that might be a little bit hard. These you will find where you find all your other Chang noodles, but they are really hard to find. And both of them, I know these ones come from China. I'm not sure where these ones come from. They're called konjac noodles, and it's actually a root. It's a Japanese vegetable, I do believe. Okay, so all we need to do with that is open it. Another great thing, these are great for camping or if you're going away somewhere, because all you need to do is open them and strain them through. Lucky I've got a couple of these. I'm just going to strain these and rinse them. And that's what they're already pre-cooked. All you need to do is throw them into your soup or something at the end. If you're following a low carb diet, they're really great for, you know, doing a bit of a bolognese kind of things. I still prefer zoodles, like the zucchini noodles. But if you really feel like you're missing out on pasta, then take a look at these. They are really good. There's no real flavour to them. It's a bit like the rice noodles. There's no real flavour. It's more a textural thing. Anyway, that's halfway through, so we'll skip to the next bit. We're going to put the rest of the coconut milk in. Oh, that's another point. This is coconut cream, which is 100%. If you buy this brand, it's a blue tin and it's coconut milk, it's just watered down. So buy the cream and water it down yourself to make the milk. That's all it is watered down cream. So I'm just gonna add a bit more, just add a bit of water to that so I get all of that, no waste. Done. Coconut milk. Oh, and it actually wants a little bit of water as well. That'll do. So if it is a soup, but if you want it thicker, then don't put as much water in it. It says chicken stock. I'm actually not going to add any stock at all because my veggie stock is quite salty, as is the fish sauce and the fish, the shrimp paste. That's quite salty. So you can add your own salt as you go later. Okay, and my kaffir lime leaves. Now with these, you do actually, I usually like to give them a tear because that releases the flavour of them. So just give them a tear. If you don't really like the flavour of them so much, you can just put them in whole and you won't get as much a flavour. But I like the flavour of them. If you don't have a kaffir lime leaf, what do you think you could use? Does anyone know? Somebody Google that for me and let me know. What would you use if you don't have a kaffir lime leaf? Because it is a particular flavour. Okay, so that's my kaffir lime. It wants a little bit of fish sauce. It's all rather fishy, this. And some lime juice. So now there are some cheat steps on this if you wish. Salt, it seems like it's an awful lot of salt, so I'm not going to do that. Now this cooks for 15 minutes. I do not believe it needs to be cooked for that long because there's nothing in there that actually needs cooking. So what I do, I just wait for it to get up to 100 degrees, and then from there we need, what do we need after that? We are just going to add our prawns. Now they're putting the chicken in and they're cooking the chicken for 10 minutes, I believe. 7 minutes. They're cooking the chicken for 7 minutes, but if you add your seafood, it'll only need 7 minutes. I actually reverse it and I put my veggies in and then I put my seafood in because I don't like my seafood overcooked. It just goes dry and not very nice. So I'm going to add, and because I'm using green beans and cabbage, it needs a little bit more cooking than if I was doing the bean sprouts and the bok choy. So just use your noodle, if you know what I mean. Okay, what else do we need to do? Then after that we will pretty much be done. So what I'll do is I'll put my beans and my cabbage in at my chicken stage, and then I'll add my prawns at the very end. Whereas I do believe they actually add they add all the prawns and the bok choy all together, but I want my things cooked a little bit more. So I was going to be doing a live from my house sitting house tomorrow, but they came home a day early for one reason or another. So I was going to make a banana bread. So my husband just heard that. So I thought I might still pop on because when I got home I had done a little bit of shopping and I put some stuff in the freezer and I found all these frozen bananas in there. So I thought banana bread could be the go because I'll be going away again on Friday for a night. Anyway, take care. If you have any questions, pop it in the comments and I'll go back through and have a read. I'll have a read of all the comments. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay? And I'll see you all tomorrow with banana bread. Okay, take care. Bye now.